Alright guys, there's no need for the usual pomp and circumstance, right? We all know why we're here. I know why you're here, you know why you're here. We're talking about this Fnatic M80 game that happened yesterday, because of course we are. Because when you look at a piece of history, sometimes you just gotta sit back and admire it for what it is. The true beauty of sloppy, amazing, crazy Counter-Strike, where these two teams went and played 71 straight rounds on Anubis, shattering the CS2 record on LAN, and coming astoundingly close to shattering the CSGO LAN record of 88 rounds. That is insane. There's no way of getting around it. There were so many amazing moments throughout this series, including the first agreed upon 10-man piss break in the history of LAN Counter-Strike as far as I can remember. So today, we're here with a simple goal. We're just going to stand and point at the craziness, and we're just going to appreciate it for what it is. Will this be the most serious, technical, in-depth analysis I've ever done? Probably not. Will it be entertaining? I hope so. So let's find out together. We have 8 overtimes of action to get through. Over 3 hours of Counter-Strike played in the opening game of a best-of-3 series. This is the match that would never end. Also, hey, before we actually get started, could you do me a solid and leave a like, leave a comment down below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Helps out immensely in the YouTube algorithm, so thank you for doing it. And while you're down there, consider following me on Twitch, twitch.tv/LionHeartZ I stream Sunday through Friday at 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We've been having a lot of fun playing Counter-Strike lately, so come on by and join in on the shenanigans. Without any further ado, let's get on to the actual tomfoolery. Alright, it's important to know right out the rip that the reason this game went on forever is because these teams were actually very evenly matched. When you look at the scoreline throughout the game, they essentially went back and forth throughout. It was a 6-6 half to open, it was a 6-6 half on the second half, and then they just started trading overtimes back and forth, 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 forever. There were a lot of individual heroics throughout, but there was no one player on either team who was specifically hard carrying or having an out-of-band performance. Everyone was essentially getting their licks in, and there were a lot of times where teams were opting to save down the stretch to maintain economy, which led to a lot of consecutive buy rounds. There wasn't a whole lot of economy shattering, and somehow both teams just kept closing the gap as soon as someone turned the corner into a lead. Like here, where to force overtime in the first place, M80 found themselves in a pretty difficult spot. They had wasted the majority of the round working some control towards A and through mid, but Body and Crims played spoiler by pushing through E-Box into water, putting some big damage on Sin up in mid, where later on BlameF would confirm that kill with a grenade, and now with 30 seconds left on the clock, M80 are forced into a desperate late B hit. With just a handful of smokes and Molotovs, Fnatic choose to concede the site and play for the post plant, and now we enter into a 5v4 retake situation, which is very difficult for both sides. Fnatic gets stalled out quite hard here by the remaining M80 utility and have to position themselves to make a desperate late push through the smoke to try and get there while the timer's running down. And the amazing crossfire set up by Swisher, Rek, and Lake are enough to mow down the Fnatic players coming through the smoke, and it goes from a 5v4 to a 4v1, with Afro not having a chance in hell of being able to convert this round, and now we're going to the first overtime. And if we jump ahead once again to the next match point, Fnatic have put themselves in position 15-14 to close out this game yet again, and now M80 find themselves in a tricky situation. They're on the CT side of Anubis, notoriously one of the hardest defenses in the game, and they have to hold off Fnatic and keep their hopes alive for a second overtime. And now it's time for Lake to come to the picture big time. This kid is one of the best up-and-coming players in NA, very sharp with the rifle in his hands, and in the E-Box on the B-side defense, he's going to find magic. And after finding those first 3 kills, he's going to tuck himself deep into E-Box with his remaining teammate. Afro's going to take a bad swing into him with the bomb in his hands and strand the bomb on their position with Body trapped on B site, running low on time and utility, and Body's going to do his best, but Lake isn't going to be denied his ace in the long run. An incredible clutch defense there to keep their hopes alive, and we move on to the second overtime, where, after some more squabbling, the tables have been turned because now M80 find themselves with their first match point opportunity, once again 18-17, and Fnatic, on their CT defense, have to hold firm to force us to yet a third overtime. And I love the switch up here from Fnatic. Instead of playing hyper passive on their defense, they're going to get uber aggressive. Maddie and Body are going to push straight out of B main. The flash report comes in from Afro. Maddie's going to take the double kill. Sin elsewhere is going to find a pick on BlameF. And Slacks is going to get the revenge kill on Maddie, putting us into a 3v3. Afro is going to position himself into the E-box. He's going to find the revenge kill on Sin not there long after and put us into a 3v2. And now Slacks and Rex have to see if they can clutch up for the map victory, but of course, as we know from the scoreline coming later on, they're not going to be able to pull it off. They're going to work the clock down and try and work some positioning to see if Fnatic make any mistakes, but they don't. They hold strong, play the bomb sites, and eventually they take the swing into the B site. Crims gets the crossfire on Rek, Afro gets the final kill on Slacks, and we keep this game going. And listen, at this point, 3 overtimes, pretty long game, we're over 30 rounds, and just like the most iconic tweet of all time, we're at 30, surely this fuckery can't go on for much longer, right? Right? We squabble it out, and once again, M80 in the third overtime find themselves in match point position, 21-20 on the CT defense. Fnatic back against the wall now. Can they force that coveted 4th overtime? And here it's a great textbook mid to A pinch. All 4 Fnatic players are going through mid hard, BlameF at the helm. Meanwhile, Crims is lurking above in the rugs, ready to come into A main at the opportune moment. And as they funnel in through camera, he's going to find the perfect time to pinch and get himself a clean double kill, open up the A bomb site, and leaving M80 in a 3v5 retake that is very, very difficult to pilot. And listen, they give it a great effort despite that. All 3 of them swing from heaven. Sin finds an incredible triple kill as his teammates fall behind him, giving him a ghost of a chance. 2v1, the time is ticking down. He's going to swing around to the bomb, but Body is around the pillar, and Crims is tucked A main. That's just too much to overcome. So we're continuing this game. Now again, bear in mind that I'm just showing you the cliff notes here. We're going ahead to yet another M80 match point, 24-23, their 3rd consecutive attempt to end this series. And of course, at this point, I just want to get off Mr. EPL's wild ride, and hopefully this game will mercifully end soon. But of course, that's not going to happen. You know it's not going to happen, and Afro knows it's not going to happen, which is why he opens up this round with a pick on Rek, putting Fnatic in the early 5-4 lead. Which stalls out the entire round because M80 clearly wanted to play like a fast A hit, but they have to slow it down afterwards to try and work some map control. Lake ends up stuck in mid for quite a while and eventually does get picked off by Afro for his 2nd kill of the round. And now in a 3v5 situation with not much map control, M80 kind of has to bend it into a B hit to try and see if they can get anything working. But Maddie and Body have a lot to say about that. They take the time swing around pillar to look at E-box. They find 2 picks themselves before Slacks takes the revenge kill on Maddie's, leaving him in a 4v1, which unfortunately he wasn't able to win. And after running through yet another godforsaken overtime, Fnatic find themselves in position to try and close it out, 27-26. They are on the T side, so they have the advantage here in theory, but of course, this game is eternal, our suffering is everlasting, and M80 are going to pull this out yet again. And it comes at the hands of an absolute B meat grinder, with Slacks getting the first pick on the aggressive peek out of B main, and then falling back and letting Fnatic push into them where he picks up another pick. Lake takes the trade behind him from E-box, which strands Crims and Afro in the 4v2 of Doom. I think overall Fnatic plays this round pretty well considering they slow it down, they wait out their time. Crims walks back into spawn after some time. He catches Rek trying to get cheeky on the flank, which puts him into a 3v2, which is a much more winnable situation. But eventually they have to try and get the bomb back, so they have to make the push into B. And despite good use of their last Molotov, it's just not enough. Lake takes one with him as he succumbs to the flames, leaving Crims in the 2v1, which he's unable to convert. Now, I think you guys are starting to get the point about how back and forth this game was, so we're going to skip ahead a little bit after the mutual timeout piss break, which I've never seen happen at a CS LAN ever, especially one of this scale. M80 came back from that break, and honestly, they started to turn around and look like the better team in this game. I think Fnatic's play got noticeably more sloppy after the break, and they started running it down on T side and looking quite uncoordinated, and some heroics from M80 really helped to seal the deal. Stuff like here where Fnatic once again finds themselves with not only a 2-round lead, but once again yet another match point, and they have the advantage, but Slacks pulls out some absolute miracles on the B bomb site. I mean, I don't even have to analyze that. That's just incredible opping from Slacks. And finally, after 71 rounds of Counter-Strike, M80 would close it out in the 8th overtime and secure map victory. And listen, the funny part is, they went to map 2, and that went to overtime as well, before M80 clutched out the series to win 2-0. What a remarkable group stage game, because you just don't see this happen that often. Even seeing double overtimes feels rare, but to see a game go this long is just it's a treat. It was entertaining. It got to the point of just pure chaos, and it felt like such an amazing thing to witness happen live. We will not see another game this long, probably for a very long time, unless something really weird happens. So congratulations to both teams. M80 takes the victory on the day, and that's going to be it for my analysis. Like I said in my last APL recap, expect the week 2 recap at the beginning of next week. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. These videos are powered by advanced.gg. Thank you to them. If you browse their website and choose any of their excellent products, you can use my code LIONS10 at checkout for 10% off, and it lets them know I sent you their way. Thank you to them. Shout out to my channel members, Justin, Jesse, Furley, Bubblesj, and Dr. Cocktor for keeping the lights on. You can check the link in the description down below to become a channel member. It helps out immensely. And lastly, check me out on twitch.tv/LionHeartZ2. I'll be streaming tonight, 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Hopefully you'll drop on by. Other than that, I'll see you guys soon with another video. Peace.